Well, from a measles outbreak on a flight to Dublin to the introduction of new transatlantic flights, it's been a busy week in the aerospace.
It certainly has, and travel journalist Eoghan Corry joins us again this morning. You're very welcome back. Eoghan, because when anything happens in the travel industry, we call on you because you're the man who knows it all. So the latest on this then, I mean, the HSE has informed anybody who was on that flight to get in touch with them and to look for symptoms. But in general, for flights in general now, and people travelling, is this going to have an effect on people?
Not really. There's nothing really going to impact on travel. People are still going to... We're going to see more measles across Europe. Austria is a particular hotspot at the moment. Nobody cancelling. Aviation's approach to this is they'll do everything to help the health authorities. They know where someone sits on an aircraft. They know who's near them. A lot of where it's harder to trace is what happens bus to the car park, airport before you take off. Measles very serious. We know from what happened 1999, 2000 in North Dublin, when young children, 3 young children died. We know also that it's not really like what happened during the pandemic, in that it's really the compromised, the pregnant, the under 12 months old. They're the cases you want to worry about. But you're a carrier once you've been in contact with a carrier. And that's where tracing and where someone sits in an aircraft is important.
So you can't see airlines then asking for proof that you've been vaccinated or anything like that in the future if it does get bad?
Interestingly enough, and people forget this sometimes, you're not supposed to fly if you have been diagnosed with anything infectious. It is an absolute no-no.
And was that always the way, even pre-COVID?
It can lead to your travel insurance being cancelled or challenged if something happens. We saw it during the pandemic that airlines got people to sign a form saying they didn't have symptoms, or press your app to say you hadn't got. That's the only time it's actually been implemented as forcefully as that. But the way the record keeping for medicine has been revolutionised by what happened since the pandemic, and the way we're moving, we'll probably see a situation in years to come where before you get on an aircraft, you're going to have to give some sort of assurance you're not showing symptoms.
Wow. So what would your sort of common sense attitude to it be, that if you are a little bit nervous about flying, would you wear a mask or anything like that? Or would you just be, if you have Easter plans, if you have summer plans, just carry on as normal?
Masks are still there, more so in Asia than in Europe, but you still see, on, depending on the demographic, people wearing masks on flights. Take normal precautions about make sure that you are going to be in a company of strangers and you don't really know what to see. And it varies from country to country. People, viewers will know, will have been in those flights from Africa where they spray for mosquitoes, and there are different risks in everywhere you go in the world. So take the normal precautions. But an absolute no-no is if you're suffering or having any sort of infectious disease,
board a flight.
Do not board that flight.
Okay.
You're putting other people. You could be sitting beside someone who's compromised, immunocompromised.
Exactly. The ongoing controversy with Boeing. And this is going to have, this is going to have an effect on us because Ryanair is one of their largest customers.
What's happened is Boeing only got to deliver 27 aircraft in February. They have been told by the authorities they can't deliver anything like they want to deliver.
What were they supposed to deliver?
They're supposed to be delivering over 40. It'd be pre-pandemic, they'd be doing 50 a month.
50 a month.
Wow.
The whole thing had slowed down anyway. Their part supplies. But Ryanair's part in this, the Boeing, first of all, the MAX 9, the one that caused the problem, the door blowout, Ryanair doesn't have that, doesn't have it on order. It does have other MAX 10 on order. That's going to be slowed down, and it also is going to be 17 aircraft short of what it expected this summer. That means it's had to trim 20,000 seats a day. That means routes that had higher frequencies are being trimmed back. Ryanair is looking all through Europe, trimming back its schedule. There's another problem with Airbus. Pratt & Whitney engines have meant the grounding of a lot of European fleet. That means that flights by other airlines have been trimmed back. When the availability goes down, the prices go up.
So we're all going to get affected this summer then?
We're all going to be affected by both Boeing and Airbus. And the Airbus problem is actually a little bit bigger problem for Europe than for America. If you're flying in America, you're generally on a Boeing. If you're flying in Europe, you're generally on an Airbus. Ryanair is flying in a sea of Airbuses. But all those stories that come every day about another Boeing incident are because almost every aircraft in America is Boeing, and some of them are related to aircraft, the airline maintenance, not directly back to Boeing, but Boeing have a lot of trouble themselves.
Let's finish with some good
news.
Yes.
Because
this is
great
exciting.
news, exciting news.
Tell us, Jetline.
JetBlue.
Oh, JetBlue, sorry.
Yeah, very important airline, low-cost airline, Northeast, very big brand in Northeast America, flying transatlantic daily from Boston to Dublin. The first one arrived in this morning. Jane O'Brien from the customer department was on. Joanne Gertie, the CEO, didn't actually make it. But they are in Dublin at the moment, taking off this afternoon. The 2 flights came down just within the last hour. And they are there for the summer. Very, very strong demand. Hopefully they'll extend to year round. And that means that everybody else's price, you know, if JetBlue are flying into JFK, not into somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Norwegian into Stewart International. People remember that. They're flying into JFK. That means Delta and Aer Lingus, who both fly JFK, the prices were pushed down a little bit. Now, it does very interesting. Demand has been so strong. If you're looking for July and August, I noticed the prices.
Yeah, because I was looking at it and the business class was outrageous on it. And then even the prices.
Business class.
Right now, I love that.
Sorry, I was just looking to treat myself.
Okay.
But I was looking.
The grapes are a bit sharp.
No, but I was looking at all the levels in it, like just to compare it to Aer Lingus and to Delta. Like we have such a great we have a great supply to America from Dublin with all the airlines,
Absolutely.
don't we?
We've more than 24 flights a day running through the summer. There is no other country that has that level of transatlantic coverage, because we've new route from Aer Lingus launching to Denver in May, and we have increased frequencies. We've returns to places like Hartford. So we've got great transatlantic services, and we've got very good prices, to the extent that people fly their Ryanair into Dublin to get the other ones on, not even connecting flights.
I've seen that,
And it's a great, it's huge for inbound tourism. Much more important for inbound tourism, because JetBlue's brand is much stronger in North America than, for instance, any of the other, than Aer Lingus would be. So getting those extra daily flights in, hopefully they'll be year-round. And
cheaper prices for everyone.
The prices down for everyone.
Great stuff.
Great, Alan.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Always a pleasure.
Coming up.